When I did my abnormality scan, the doctor said, does anyone have a trait of dwarfism in your family? I said yes. I told my husband. The doctor said, why didn't you go to your brother-in-law or go outside to get pregnant instead of getting pregnant for your husband?
But after having a kid, I wanted to be a real housewife.
First, let's even talk about your journey. You're a content creator and also an influencer on social media. How did that start? How did that even start for you?
Well, I think it all started off from the fact that growing up, I had passion for the few stuffs I was seeing on TV then. Of course, I get glued to TV a lot. So I saw a lot of very fun things. So growing up, I stand before the mirror and then try as much as possible to reenact a lot of these things I saw growing up. And from there, I think gradually the passion grew.
So you talked about being a child, wanting to be in this industry. Were you ever worried about how you look? Maybe it might ever be a hindrance to like you achieving what you want to achieve, even as a child, as a young person.
But as a child, you barely understand your reality. But you knew you're different from every other regular person. But maybe I would say the reality of who you are probably did not dawn on me that much. And I guess one fundamental thing about that is the fact that I guess the reason why I didn't actually feel it that much was because I had loving parents. The fact I was a little person never really occurred to me that much. But of course, there are moments in your life when it will hit you that, look, you're different. But for every time it occurs to me, and I also realize and remember where I'm coming from and the kind of discipline and then the background I've been given, it makes me stronger because one, I keep telling people, if your first point of love comes from your parents, every other thing is just secondary. So I think that is just it.
So when did the reality of being a little person hit you? And what would you say it is like being a little person in Nigeria?
I think when it first hit me was when I finished secondary school. And, when you finish secondary school, you go out in search of jobs. I mean, minor jobs and all that. There were factories around us. There were a few companies around me, somewhere around Oshodi, where I grew up. And I go for some of these job stuffs. You end up realizing that every other person around you was selected, and you're the only one that is not being selected. The reality will now start hitting you. Why? Is it because I'm little? Is it because I'm short? And all that. Beside that, the fact people call me names. Okay, Baba Kekere just can be accepted, but names like Arara, names like Danku, those very funny names. Those were names I was not used to, but it is something I got used to eventually. I became so accustomed to it. And at some point, I saw it as daunting.
So what's the reality of living as a little person in Nigeria? What does that look like if you're to look at your daily life and even on social media as a content creator? What does that look like to you?
Well, I will say it has its fun part. It also has its very challenging part. And fun part is the fact that, look, yes, you're living a life you crave for. You're living a life you enjoy living. You're doing your stuff and you're putting it out there. People are loving it, no doubt. Yes, people are loving it. But when you also flip the distance on the other side, you also find very gullible people who feel, okay, we can actually tease these individuals and trigger them, and they say things.
When I did my abnormality scan and I handed it to the doctor was like, he was like, oh, why didn't you? Does anyone have any trait of dwarfism in your family? I said yes. I told my husband. So the doctor said, why didn't you go to your brother-in-law or go outside to get pregnant instead of getting pregnant for your husband.
He mentioned.
Or even get a sperm donor. Yes, that is what a doctor told me.
Wow.
Yes. They're not given equal rights in this country at all.
Because I was about to ask you, I was coming to you as well to ask, what was it like when you decided to get married to him? Because I know also parents' pressure, family pressure. What was that like when you said, okay, this is the man I want to marry? And how did your family react to it? How did the society react to it? My
parents are late. My parents died in 2014. And when I went home, and I did not tell any of my siblings. I did not tell I'm from a polygamous home. I did not tell any of my siblings apart from my mother's children, who are my direct siblings, that this is the kind of person I'm getting married to. So they just it was unexpected. I just
appeared before them.
He just appeared before them.
Bam.
And it a lot of emotions were raised, and they questioned it, they rejected it, but I stood my ground. So some months back, there was a time that even your child, you have a kid now, and I know that there was a time even your child was being dragged on social media where you posted her, and then people were saying a lot of things. How has that been for you? How have you been able to cope with the online bullying, and how has the online bullying been for you?
Okay, I think it was actually anticipated even long before I and my wife got married. I've been in social media because I've been in the public feed and public domain, of course. We both agree that, look, because this is the kind of life we live with social media people, that even when we have babies, that definitely will still, reveal the baby to. The baby will still be revealed to the social media space. These are things we've agreed. We've accepted our reality that, look, our child could either turn out a little person or an average height person. These are things we knew would be faced with. We had our baby, and of course, she has a beautiful girl, turned out to have my features. With that said, it is time for us to now reveal her to the social media space. We knew we were going to get reactions.
A lot of people were telling us that we were hiding this baby, but she was ill when we gave birth to her. When we gave birth to her, she was very healthy until 3 months later. Then she fell. She got sick, very sick. She was in coma for 7 days. So wanted her to be okay before we bring her out. Before we show her
space,
to the public. So
that was just it. So and eventually we knew it was going to happen. We knew of course, personally I was ready. She was also ready for it.
We were ready, but sometimes it hurts when you see those.
Yeah, I would like to know how you felt, because I think you have over time adjusted to that reality. But I would like to know how you felt seeing all those being said about your baby, calling you out. How did it make you feel as a mom?
I felt so sad. That's why sometimes in my on my page, I print out I take the pictures of these trolls, put their comments on it, and
give
post
them that
it.
Popularity they want.
And post it. That is what I do most times.
Okay.
It's really heartbreaking for me.
Okay, if you could say one thing to trolls who have been, calling you out on social media or saying nasty things to you, what would it be?
To tell you the truth, I'm a realist. And for each time I mention being a realist, my wife tends to have an issue with it. And this is how I present it. Listen, you cannot completely change people. That's just it. You cannot completely change people's narrative. You cannot completely change people's mentality. Okay, fine. There are a lot of people who want to say, okay, this thing is wrong. Yeah? I mean, majorities would accept to this, that this is wrong. We need to put a stop to it. But in the midst of these same people, you'll find a few other people who are so gullible and ignorant about this reality, who are far-fetched from understanding what this is, who will still want to be stuck to, let us keep up with what you're doing. That's why you cannot completely change people. So, but I think one thing I've come to realize is it's a gradual process. It's a gradual process. I know before this moment, before this era, it used to be very difficult in the past for little people. It used to be more challenging.
It's still challenging.
It is, but I understand, because I've been in the show, I totally understand what I'm saying. Prior before now, but if you look at it now, a gradual acceptance from some individuals.
No, I've not seen that gradual
Babe,
acceptance.
listen, do you know why? Because you're not a little person.
Okay.
You did not grow up in, I know what I am saying. You understand? I cannot trace how my own started. You understand? And it has nothing to do with religion. Anybody can give birth to a little person. Okay, you might have all the fun you want to have today by saying, look at them, they are short. No, it could hit you tomorrow.
Talking about religion, when I gave birth to my daughter in this same hospital, the nurse that nurse traumatized me throughout my stay after birth care. So the woman was telling me that this is spiritual, that she has a pastor. Her pastor can pray for my child so she can be tall. A nurse in this Lagos, a nurse. I've not really heard all these things online. I've just been keeping it to myself. A nurse, a trained nurse.
So basically, that's just what it is. I mean, anybody can give birth to a little person.
She gave me an instance that one of her friends gave birth to a little person, and they took her to that pastor, and the pastor prayed, and the baby got. That's why I said it has nothing to do with religion. You can say God or ban thy caste, but the reality will still hit. And once it hits, this is what I will advise people. Once it catches you unaware, just do the needful, invest in that child, raise that child, do the needful, train that child, and see that if that child will not come out with results. And I have a couple of ladies in my DM who are average height with their partners, and both themselves and these ladies and their partners are average height, and they have a little person's baby. They come to my DM to tell me about it. My husband is this, this is this, but we don't know how it happened. Young couples, they're in my DM.
So that's just
they're not online.
So that's just what it is.
All right. So also, let's go back to your line of work. You are a content creator. One of the things that we've noticed as a trend is that in movies, in a lot of social content, is that when little persons are represented, they're represented as either comic characters or, basically comic characters, people to laugh at, people to mock. How does that make you feel? And do you think that more needs to be done in that field?
We live in a world dominated by average height individuals. For everybody telling a story or probably picking up a pen to write a story, the person will definitely want to focus on the realities he sees around him. And when I mean the reality he sees around him, he wants to focus on writing stories about average height people. Because we're very conspicuous. I mean, you barely see activities around us. So you want to write things around, stories around that revolves around what you see. You understand? Create stories around what you think or what you see around you. And that is how I say it. So it will be very difficult for you to say, okay, start writing a story for little people. Focusing on little people. It's very difficult for a lot of these people to channel towards that direction. For how long do you want to keep up with such? But looking at it from the angle, and I think that is why the issue of creating a space where they can also play a part, or at least be seen, which are this jester part, comedy part, and all that. But I feel not all comedy part are completely positioned to be laughed at. Some are just normal comedy that these individuals play, and it has its history over time. You understand? So if we need to change stories, or if we need to change this thing, it's still going to take it has to go through a gradual phase. But it is not a gradual phase that can be guaranteed because of the society we live in.
You're not even hitting this thing. You see those ones that that they tell to play native doctor. That I'm the one now I want hear. I don't want hear this one where they talk.
There were emphasis on she emphasized on
it's not just comedy.
No,
It's
not just comedy. It could also be like at the end of the day, little people are stereotyped in films.
Yes.
I agree.
Even when we're playing, let's say, herbalist, or you even see them, they use them even, I've seen like when celebrities even use them to do like caricature, come in and like a procession, just so, no, in a way or the other, whatever role it is, there's always a way for people to laugh or work.
I totally, when it comes to these areas you've mentioned, I actually react to that. That look, it is time stories are also change for little people. If you really want to get little people involved in stories, at least put them in roles that fits their personalities. Okay, just as you've mentioned, over time, you see a lot of these people play Iwi, bush babies, herbalist, and a lot of other roles in the past, and just a few of all these things you've mentioned. And I think it is still, everything still dwell on the fact that, look, it is how the society still see these people.
We turn down roles. We don't want those.
You understand? It is still how the society tend to see them. That is why they will keep, putting things like this for them. And that is why the process of trying to change this thing should come in phase gradually. I believe with time, it can be completely changed.
What is the world?
You don't think so? Okay.
What is the world you like to see your daughter live in when it comes to a little person?
For this, I think this is it. Because I've been in that shoe, I've stepped in that shoe, I totally understand the challenges involved. So watching my daughter grow, I know she will also face her own challenges, no doubt. Yeah, but I think for someone like us, or Adlim, we'll be able to give her that soft landing. Look, because we've been in this shoe, this is how you should go about it. You understand? I believe if we raise her up the way we need to raise her up, make her understand and accept her reality, accept the fact that she's very special and unique the way she is, and also make sure, give her that energy she truly deserves as a child. I mean, I believe every other thing will be secondary. And when I mean every other thing will be secondary, I would like to see a situation whereby in the long run, she would want to choose a profession of her choice, live her life the way she truly wants, and enjoy every moment of it. So that's what I actually want to
have
pray
a lot of professions.
All right, so you can say the ideal world
You want a lot of
like
professions for her, but she will end up living the life
you can
she
say the
wants.
ideal world you would like your daughter to grow into, based off what you've experienced, comparing where you're at and what you've experienced so far to what you want for.
I've not seen a little person fashion model before. That is what I'm working on. That is what I'm grooming my daughter to one of the professions I want her to have.
Become. No, I think
model.
a society where she'll be accepted, she'll be recognized, she'll be given her flowers for the things she would achieve in life and all that. So this kind of society I would want for her, definitely. So I mean, that's why when it gets to that stage, we'll definitely pass it, and it will happen.
All right, so final question, advice, or what do you have to tell people out there in terms of how can they relate with little persons better? What can they do differently? Some people, it's just pure ignorance. They don't know, because sometimes even people don't know how to approach it. Like, when I started this interview, I asked, how would you like to be addressed? Some people don't know the right words. Some people don't know how to go by it. And they just say whatever they've heard other people say. So what are like some things that you would like to tell people on how to navigate, conversations with little persons? What is ideal in terms of relating with little persons?
Okay, this is it. I think first thing first, see them as human first. I mean, because see them as human, that comes first. And then the moment you see them as human, accept them as human, and communicate with them as humans, the same way you see your siblings, your friends, and everybody around you, then you'll get a lot from them. When I'm getting a lot, then you understand the personality behind that person. You understand it? Because sometimes, because people are so far from understanding who we are, I mean, they end up, settling for what they think we are, you understand? So, but the moment you come close, understand these people, you see the same normal kind of person you see every day. The same brother you have at home, the same friend you have at the other end. That is the easy life you see around these people. I know, of course, I have a few. There is a particular friend of mine that keeps her story amazes me. Said long before she met me, that her perception about little people were so wrong, that she never wants to have anything to do with them. She sees them with a different mindset. She sees them as being too spiritual, too wicked, too this. But the moment we now had to share friendship together, I mean, she saw something completely different. Something completely different. And she keeps appreciating the fact that, look, that she is a friend, and that she would definitely remain a friend for the rest of her life. And of course, based on the fact that my personality and the human in me. So that is just what it is.